Shabbat Shalom. If you're watching this video, it means that we survived. What did we survive? The predicted end of the world on December 21st. But actually, I want to talk about December 21st in a more serious way. Because the Mayans, I think, were serious about this date. Maybe we should take that date seriously as well. The Mayan calendar encompassing large chunks of time, much larger than we're usually accustomed to think of. And December 21st constituting the end of one of these very, very significant time measurements. And we can speculate what it means for the world to go on beyond the end of the calendar. You know, some people joke and say, well, they just ran out of space in this portrayal of time. I like to think that the world really has ended as of today. Maybe the old world that we've been living in has come to an end, and a new world is starting to come to be. That's the way I prefer to think about it. Always to find an excuse to begin again, to renew oneself and one's life and one's world, hopefully. It's always good to find such excuses, and the Mayan calendar ending on this date, December 21st, I think is a perfectly good excuse to begin anew and hopefully to create a different kind of world than we've been experiencing in the last century or so. So what happened to me in this transition? Well, something did happen, actually, beginning on 12/12/12, another significant date according to some. I began to experience a surge of renewal, and I wanted to share that with you today. Maybe it's something that you can make use of in your own life. The big discovery, actually a rediscovery, because I've realized this different times in my life, but it really, I think, hit home in a whole different way, this particular instance. The idea that we can be in control of our thoughts. We can take responsibility for the direction of our thoughts, which is to say, when we have angry thoughts, when we have egotistical thoughts, when we have negative thoughts, when we have lustful thoughts, thoughts that are not really appropriate, well, the rabbis say, fine, you can have those thoughts. We aren't judged by God, according to the rabbis, for the thoughts that we have, but rather for the actions that we engage in. So this has been my experience, I suppose the experience of many other people as well, that you can have these thoughts and you don't act on them. And that, I think, is one level of spiritual achievement. But how much more wonderful would it be if we didn't have to have the thoughts to begin with? You know, to have an angry thought and then to clamp down on it, that's very valuable. But what would life be like if we didn't even have to have the angry thought? So this is what I've been experiencing, that yes, an angry thought will surface, an angry emotion will flash, but I don't have to entertain that thought. I don't have to pursue that feeling. Rather, it's very much like taking the remote control and pressing the button. I can change the station. I can be onto another kind of program virtually any time that I want. And so I don't have to entertain the thoughts that I've been having spontaneously. And taking responsibility on that level results in an entirely different experience of life. One which is much more filled with light and joy and God connection, I would say also. I feel that God waits for us to take the initiative in so many ways in our lives. And this is one, that you don't have to be angry, you don't have to be jealous, you don't have to be pessimistic, you don't have to be anything that you might be experiencing at the moment, even though it might seem very appropriate at that moment. If you find that it's uncomfortable, take the inner remote control, press the button, change the station, and you'll be very, very glad that you did. So this is one way in which I've transformed in this time of transition. The world as a whole is in great transition. Good and bad goes on during transitions, and I think we have to keep our eye on the big picture of the emerging new world that is emerging simply because of the progress of technology and consciousness. We can get anywhere in the world in a matter of hours. We can connect anywhere in the world in a matter of seconds. Populations are moving today that never would have been able to move, and so we find ourselves rubbing shoulders with all kinds of people of different backgrounds and ethnicities and educations and races and religions that our grandparents could never have dreamed of. This is, in itself, constituting a whole new world, and a world in which we are being asked to understand our fellow human being in a way that we've never been asked before. And I see this as the foundation for a time of world peace and harmony and prosperity, hopefully one that's coming sooner rather than later. And maybe this December 21st, 2012 date is a kind of marker that we can look back at and say, and this was the time when we really began to change for the better, as individuals, as nations, as a world. So here is wishing you a wonderful holiday season, a beautiful secular new year of 2013, in which your deepest dreams and wishes will be fulfilled. Shabbat Shalom.